Hey guys, it's Jazz.
So this is a design I did for the NTA page, and I just thought I'd show you how you can create a really simple design with lines.
So what I'm using is gel paint. You could use a gel polish if you want. And I am also using a pinky ruby red colour as well, which you'll see what I need it for. I have two white background tips that have been matte top coated, and you're also going to want a fine liner. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with creating like a circulish kind of shape, I guess. And I'm just dragging this around the nail, and I wanted to show that lines don't always have to be straight. Wiggly lines are still lines. Lines that swoop into a circle is still a line, and you can create some really simple designs that look really, really effective. So I came across these designs on Pinterest a while ago. It was someone that had done a drawing of it, and I absolutely fell in love with it, so I decided I'd try and create it on a nail. These, I call them my ladies, and I get like real voguey French sort of style vibes from them. So what I'm doing is I've created that almost like black loop line around the top, and I'm now creating the face shape. Don't worry if your lines are a bit too thick or a bit blobby anywhere. I love gel paints because they don't move, and you can always go in with your cleanser after and just neaten anything up, which is what I do now. I just take a brush with some cleanser on, and you can see how easily it cleans up. Clean your brush off, and then you can go in and swipe away any excess that's smeared there. Painting on matte is brilliant because you have more control, and it's actually easier to get the design to stick where you need it to. And obviously when you're wiping any design away, it clears up really easily. Please excuse the state of my hands. I suffer with eczema, and the excessive hand washing has done them no good. I've had a bit of a flare up, and they make my hands and my cuticles look way drier than they actually are. So I'm just perfecting the face shape, and then I go down and create this neck. Now I actually do her neck slightly too wide, but it didn't really affect the actual final outcome. So what I do is, if you were doing this, I'd just do it probably a little bit not as wide as like the neck goes out. And if you're not feeling too comfortable with your lines or using gel paint yet, you can flash cure as you go. I've done a couple of these now, and I really like how they look, so I tend to just do most of my outline work and then cure it. And you can do your lines little by little if you want. If you don't feel comfortable, doing big long lines at one time, do whatever works for you. I'm then just filling in this black area, and this kind of, I don't really know how to describe this. You could either imagine it was a hat or her hair. I'm going with like it's a hat. But you just fill in this area, and it adds some like shading and darkness, and it works really well. I like these because they're simple, and it's almost like kind of like a silhouette, but not a silhouette. I really don't know how to describe them, but I'm going to save what they look like until a bit later on to try and keep it a surprise. So I'm just darkening up the lines just to make them a bit thicker. In some places I felt that they were a bit too thin, and this is the great thing about gel. You can perfect it as much as you like until you're happy, and then cure it. And like I said, if anything's not right, take the cleanser and just clean it away before you cure it. So that's what it looks like so far, and I do just go in and thicken up some lines a little bit more until I'm happy with them. I wanted her chin to be a little bit more pronounced. I wanted to have a little bit more of a point to it, so I'm literally just neatening up that bottom line, and then I'll go in with my cleanser and clean away any bit that I don't want. And again, like I said, it clears away so easily. I'm using the Nail Chemie gel paints, and they're brilliant because they just stay exactly where you need them to, and they are really pigmented. And you can also build them up if you want to start with a finer line, which is what I did there. So I'm just going to make her chin a little bit more pronounced, make that line just a little bit darker so it matches up with the rest of the design. And then I will pop this in for a full cure. These cure in 1 minute, however, just do whatever works for the brand. You could flash cure them if you wanted to. So once that's been cured, I then take my ruby red colour after cleaning my fine liner off, and I create her lips. These were a real challenge to do. For some reason I just could not get them right. Especially as it's much smaller, it can sometimes be a little bit harder to get the right detailing in and get it in the right position. So just play around and do what works for you. I think I did these about 3 times where I just took the cleanser and cleaned them up. So I ended up actually doing that. I did it off camera and just did a much finer outline, and then I fill it in, and you can see they look more lip-like shaped, I guess. But just fill it in. I did this very, very gingerly as I didn't want to ruin the outline that I spent so long trying to get right. Then I go in and I flash cure that. Once that's out of the lamp, I put the black on the brush again, and for her nose, I do, just as you can see, they are very, very thin lines. So make sure you have enough product on your brush, but not too much at all, because you don't want them to be too thick. And I just do little diagonal lines above her lips where I think like the nose would be, and then any area that I'd managed to wipe away the black, I just fill in again, and I bolden up the line just to make it a little bit more pronounced, and just so it kind of fades out a little bit better at the end. And I'm just filling in any of that blank space, making any of the lines more pronounced like I think they should be, and then I go in and I give this a full cure in my lamp. I decided that this wasn't wide enough for me, so I'm just widening it up and then filling it in, and like I said, I cure it in the lamp. Once she's cured, I'm going in with a matte top coat, and just because I like the finish of the matte, you could leave it shiny if you wanted to, and obviously as you can see that's what it would look like. Next I'm going on to show you how you can do other designs with this line pattern, and I'm just going to show you how you can do a really simple little cat. I've posted some of these designs on my social media, and I've already had clients turn around and say how they really like them, and how, you know, as soon as we can. I've got one lady that wants to try them out straight away. So obviously these designs might not be for everyone, but if you're new to nail art and you want something that's pretty and simple, these are so great and they're so easy to do. So I'm just creating the head of my little cat now, and I'm doing it so you're looking at the back of the cat. I'm creating my ears, and then I'm just dragging it down. I think cats have quite a curvy body, so I'm just trying to imagine that in my head and drag the lines down to where I think they should be. Like I said before, don't worry if things go over, the lines go over, you can correct it with some cleanser. So I'm just creating my swirly tail for the little cat, and like I said, lines don't have to be straight. There is so much that you can do with them. These are all lines here. Just because they don't look straight doesn't mean it's not a line. And there are possibilities with this that are endless. You can do so many different colours, so many different backgrounds and designs, and I'll show you a couple of others that I did at the end. So I'm just going in now and making my lines more pronounced. I always start off where the lines are a little bit paler. Sometimes it can be a little bit easier to remove with the cleanser, and then I like to build them up. And I will go in with my cleanser at the end before I cure it and just get rid of any of those bits that seem to have gone over the edge. As I always say, trust the process, you'll get there in the end. You can see that actually it did smear a little bit there, and I decided that I wanted that line a bit more bold, so I just go in and do that. Apologies if you hear my dog, she likes to just slump around and huff. So just making the lines a little bit bolder, cleaning away any excess bits that I don't think should be there. You do find that I end up going over some of these areas a little bit more than what I did before, but it all works. I think like having the pronounced bold line works really well. I then matte top coat that again, and this is what they look like. So as you can see, I did a flamingo there as well. Like, they all work really, really well. I absolutely love the ladies. I think they're such a pretty design. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next week.